Today we'll be doing a Sats paper of 2019 and this is the English Comprehension paper. The best way of doing this paper is I would recommend you to go and read the text of the comprehension first, because when you read the text then only you'll be able to answer all the questions in this text. So the comprehension is being attached to this paper. If you have not gone through it, you could find the comprehension in the description of this video, or you could find in 11 plus ALT group on Facebook. That's our group. You could find the text in that group. I will tell you how to do this paper now. So let's start doing the paper. The first question of the paper says it's about the text, the park. Section 1 is about park. So the best option is you should go and read it. If you have not, then you won't be able to answer all the questions in this paper. So the first one is, what is Ajay doing when the post arrives? So obviously when you have read the text, you will know that he would be eating his breakfast. He was ready to eat his breakfast. He was trying to have his tea, drink his tea and have breakfast. So the answer for this one was Ajay was about to dunk into his tea and toast. So it's basically, you need to look at the text. It's given in the text. And the best thing about this comprehension is you have also given the pages. So you should always go through the pages, what's given. And this is 1 mark. So try having 1 point. You should go according to the marks of the comprehension. If it's 1 marks, you should go for 1. If it's 2 marks, you should go for 2. So the first question is, what they're asking you, what is Ajay doing when the post arrived? So what was he actually doing when the post arrived? He was about to drink into his tea and toast. He was basically about to eat his breakfast. So that's for number 1. I'll just zoom number 2 for the people who can't see it. Number 2, I hope you can see it now. Number 2, they're asking you is, how does Joe know that the letter contains bad news before his mother tells him what it says? So how would Joe know that the letter what has arrived in the house had a bad news? Obviously, if you would have read the text again, he would come to know the letter contains bad news looking at his mother's expressions. So whenever you're writing a comprehension, just don't write what normally all of you write, because he could see his mother bad, he could see his mother's face was sad, things like that. It doesn't make sense. Always try writing it this way, the one I have written. He could come to know the letter contained bad news looking at the mother's expressions. So obviously when he was looking at his mother's expressions, he came to know the letter had a bad news. So that's number 2. So number 3 is down. So let's do number 3 now. So number 3 now. So in number 3, they're asking you, what did the letter in the brown envelope tell Joe's mother? So basically they're asking you, what did the letter tell his mother? Remember, when you have brown letters in brown envelope, it's normally by the consul or their official letters. So it basically tells her the park is shut. If you have written that, you will get a point. If you have not, it tells her the park is shut. So basically the letter would tell his mother that the park is shut, or the park is closing, or could be that the park It tells her the park is shut. Could also tell her the park is closing. They have shut the park down. So they have basically shut the park down. So everything is they come to know from this letter. The next one is now. I'll give you a minute to try doing it yourself, then write the answer. So now they're asking you, look at page 4. I think all of you should have the comprehension with you. Look at page 4. Find and copy. They want you to find and copy one word which shows that Joe is angry. So which word in the text tells you that Joe is angry? So according to me, the word which tells me Joe is angry is furiously. This is the word in the text. If you look at that, it tells me that Joe is angry. The next one, they're asking me, again, you need to look back in page 4. In Ajay's opinion, how do people feel about the park? So according to his opinion, how do people feel about the park? Obviously, when you read the text, you come to know that the people are ready. They love the park. They feel that the people think it's a great thing because they can go out for outings and things. Again, it's 1 mark. So you have to write only 1. So Ajay, he really feels that everyone everyone basically loves the park. According to him, everyone just love the park. They like it to go out of the park. They think the park is great. And if you're writing something like they feel that they're angry and upset, sad, it's closing, you don't need to write anything like that. You should always stick to what they're asking you. Don't give extra information which is not being asked. This is something you have to be really, really careful while doing it. So let's move on to the next one. So in the next one, they want you to look at paragraph beginning, you boys best get to school, to the end of page 4. So you need to look at till that one, till page 4. But what about Joe started to say? Which words would best complete Joe's question? Your breakfast, our games, your joy, or our homework? Which one you think would finish his sentence, basically? If you would have read it, you would come to know is obviously his job. So let's move on to number 7 now. Number 7 is basically they're asking you, what is Joe's mother thinking about when she reads the letter? Take one thing. I'm happy that the boys have finished their breakfast. I don't want the boys to realize how upset I am. I'm worried the boys will be late for school. I will cook sweet and sour spaghetti for the boys later. So obviously when she knows the park is closing down, the mother would not be happy. She will be really upset. And when she's upset, when you know your mother is upset, she won't show you guys she's upset. So it's basically would be the second one. I don't want the boys to realize how upset I am. So basically she doesn't want them to know that she's really, really upset. because of the park closing down. So let's move on to the next one now. So the next one is basically they are saying if she was trying to reassure Joe it was not working, what does reassurance means in this sentence? Sometimes what the comprehension tells you, the word tells you in the question they are asking you is not the actual meaning of the word. You should always go back to the comprehension and see how is that word used. So if she was trying to reassure Joe it was not working, what does reassurance mean in this sentence? So what does it mean in this sentence? She was basically telling him that don't worry, everything would be fine. So basically she was giving him insurance. She was telling him that he doesn't need to worry about. So she was making him feel she was making him feel like everything is going to be all right. So basically she was making him feel like everything is going to be, she was upset herself, but she was ensuring others, she was telling others that don't worry, everything will be fine. Basically she was making him feel like everything would be fine. So let's move on to number 9 now. Look at the paragraph at the top of page 5. You need to look at page 5. Find and copy one word that shows as the boy do not want to leave the house. The boys don't want to leave the house. What word you think in the text will tell you that? According to me, the word is I'll just write it down for you guys. Give me a second. Where's my text? It's RELUCTANTLY. So this is the word which normally tells you in the text. If you keep looking at that in page 9, the word is given there. It's it's basically RELUCTANTLY. That's the word. And if you want to know what this word is called, the word is basically
reluctantly. Reluctantly.
So that's the word. So the next one is, let's rub this one. In the next one, they're asking you, Ali Ajay railed, where are you doing? What are you doing? Joe read the sign, under development. What's going on? Joe asked. Why have you closed the park? Joe and Ajay react differently to seeing the man humping in the signs. How does react? Obviously, when they are closing the park, how you think he will? Joe does. How does Joe react? So, according to you, how would Joe react when he sees when they see the man doing something to the park? How would he would react? He is a calmer. So he's really a calm person from both of them. So he won't behave in a improper way. So he will definitely behave in a way of in a proper manner. So the next question again comes to you. They're asking you now, look at the sign from the story. Who has produced the sign? Obviously, if the government is closing the park, the sign would be done by the government. So you would say that the council. Look at the sign of the story, what they're asking you. They are basically asking you who have produced the sign. So you'll write the council so it's basically the council. So it's the council has done that. And remember one thing, when you're writing your comprehensions, there's something I write. Don't just write just one word. You have to write the full sentence. And you should also remember that when you're doing in the 11 plus. So let's move on to the next part now. Number 12. Sorry, number 16. I think so. We missed. Yes, we did miss out. We missed out number 12. So let's move on to number 12 now. Number 12, they are saying, look at the paragraph in the beginning. Underneath, the notice was A to the end at paragraph 5. What is happening inside the park straight after Joe and Rin have read the signs? So, what do you think was happening in the park when both of them have read the signs? So obviously, if you read the story, you know the they were still digging because they're closing. Their digger was built. The diggers are going into the park, so they are going inside the park. So basically, you will write that some diggers are going. Always try remembering to write the full sentence. Don't just write words, because if you do that, you won't get marks, and you want to get really good marks. So let's move on to number 13. Number 13, they are saying, using the information from the text, tick one word in the row to show whether the statement is true or false. So the park has been looked after by a park warden. Yes, it is. That's true. Number 2, the park is going to be replaced with a shopping center. That's a false. Building work in the park will start at the end of July. If you read that, you know that this also false. The warden had 2 weeks notice to the park's closure. That's also false. So let's move on to number 14 now. Number 14, they have given you, they tell you also. Number 14 is from questions 14 are about fact sheets. It's about the fact sheets, and you have to look at paragraph 6 to 7 to answer these ones. So, what are they asking? What is the name of the organizations that produced this fact sheets about bumblebees? So, who does operate that? Again, you have to write the full sentence. Remember, the fact sheets are produced by the Bumblebee Trust. If you wrote that, you will get full marks. So that's your answer for number 14. Let's move on to the next one now. Next one is, look at the section headed Save Our Bees. Complete the table below. One piece of evidence from the leaflets to support each statement. So you need one to complete the statement. I would recommend you to read the text again. The Bumblebee Conservation Trust is worried about bees. Do you think are they worried about bees? You give one evidence. Bumblebees are struggling to survive would be my first one. They don't have any house to stay. They are hungry. And to make readers feel hopeful for bees, all are not being trust. You need to look at the text. I'm reading the text and I'm telling you the answers. And the next one is, you can take action today. So this is the evidence. I will write down the one what I found. You could also find your own evidence. The first one I would say that I will write is because they don't have a home and they are going hungry. They don't have home and they are going hungry. And the next one I would say, all not been lost. What the leaflets are making hopeful, what the things you think in the text is, in the comprehension is, in the leaflet is making you comfortable reading it. All are not lost. All It's 2 marks. Remember, you need to write 2 points each. So number 16 now. Number 16, they're asking you, in our modern world of paved gardens and intensive farming, our bumblebees find themselves hungry and homeless. This suggests that farming has helped bees. Paved gardens are attractive. Bees are good at finding their way. Bees have only started struggling recently. Again, if you would have read the text, you would come to know which one is. This obviously suggests that bees have always started struggling recently. They have recently started to struggle. That's your answer. So we will move on to number 17 now. Number 17, they're asking, look at the section headed, what's so different about the bumblebees? The text refers to the bumblebees' cousins. Who are their cousins? So if you know who are the cousins of bumblebee, it's the honeybees. Are the cousins as I always tell you, you should write the full text. Of the bumblebees. Let's move on to number 18 now. Number 18 looks like it's down. Number 18 is, which section of the leaflet is written to inform readers that they are unlikely to be stung by the bumblebees? Write the name of the section. So obviously, if you would have read the text, you would have come to know the section which tells you that don't be confused. That one is the one which tells you that don't is the section D should be capital. Here's the first one. So remember, always when they're asking you something, you should always write with the sentence. So number 19 now. In what way is the buzz pollination more useful than other forms of pollinations? What do you think it is now? Again, I would say that if you recommend if you read the section, it tells you that because it realizes trapped pollen that they would not have been able to get out. Or you could say it helps release more pollen. So basically, it helps release more pollen. I'll say that it will help you to releases the answer for this one. I know some of you would be finding it really hard, really boring, but the best way is if you could have done this before coming to the session. Try doing this yourself and then looking at my answers. That would make more sense to you. So let's move on to number 20 now. Number 20 is look at the page 7. Why is it important for bumblebees to leave a smelly scene on some flowers? What do you think it is? So that others avoid it because it smells better than nectar. So others know it is a pollen because bees give flowers their scent. So which one do you think it is? It's the first one. So let's move on to 21 now. 21 is look at the section headed Things You Can Help. Find and copy a word shown how essential flowers are to the bees. So, what do you think the flowers are important to the bees? If you read the text and if you know yourself, you will come to know its lifeline. What do you answer for this one? So let's move on to 22 now. So basically what they're asking you now is tick one box each row to show whether each of the following flower is bee friendly or not to be bee friendly. So you need to be careful. Lavender is obviously a bee friendly. Pansy, that's not bee friendly. Herbs, that's definitely bee friendly. And wild rose is definitely a bee friendly. The next one is now explain why the flowers are not bee friendly and do not attract bees. And this is so easy because they don't have so much of pollen. That's why. They don't have because they don't have so much of pollen. That's why they are not bee friendly. So let's move on to the next one now. That's 23 now. So they're asking you now, look at the section headed Energy Drink or Bees. This instruction suggests that the reader enjoys preparing food, has a lot of energy, is willing to handle bees, willing, is skilled at gardening. Which one do you think it is? It's obviously the third one. So let's move on to the next one now. So it's 24 now. Using the information from the text, tick one box in each row to show whether each statement is true or false. So the first one is wisps can be aggressive. That's true, they can be. Male bumblebees sometimes stink. That's false. Bumblebees only go outside when it's warm. That's also false. And the last one is you need a big garden to help bumblebees. That's also false. So let's move on to 25 now. So in this one, they are saying, look at the whole text, complete the table below to show what text says you can do to help bumblebees. Help for all bumblebees and help for a week bumblebees. So again, you need to look at the text and do it. I'll write some which I think you can also write yours. It could be plant bee friendly flowers. So you should always plant which are friendly flowers. And the next one I'll say, stop intensive farming. You should stop intensive farming. Stop. And then the other one I would write is move it close. You should move it close to flowers. Move it. And the next one I would say is give it a sugar and water mix. You should always give it a give an example of the use of humber in the fact sheet. So I would say that I'll write energy drinks. Why did I say energy drinks? I would say energy drinks or smelly feet. Let me my example for this one. So let's move on to 28 now. They are asking you now. They are saying You have these questions are about music box. So page 8 and 9. What has Pepper been counting in the first paragraph? So what do you think he's counting in the first paragraph? If you would have read the text, you would come to know that he was counting the cracks basically in the boards, or he was this because you need 2 points in this, and the second would be he was watch sticks. He was watching the ticks. So I'll write it down again for you. The first one was he was looking at the cracks. He was looking for cracks in the board. Should be capital. And the next one, he was the watch sticks. He was watching the he was watching the got it right. Well done. If you didn't, don't worry about it. It's fine. The next one now. She pulled out a pair of her father's old boots, slung his boot brown coat over her night dress, and opened the door. The word slunk suggests the paper put on the brown coat. She was carelessly, slowly, tightly, or thoughtfully. Which one do you think would fit her the best? I think so would be slowly. So let's move on to 31 now. 31, they are again asking you, you again need to look at page 9 in this. Why has Meha Mega came to Pepper's house on the night of the storm? Where do you think she came in her house? Because obviously he was really cold and he was just trying to keep himself warm. That's why he came. Because it was really cold and he just came to keep himself warm. So I would say that he was really cold. He was really cold. He was really cold. So was trying to keep himself warm. So he was basically trying to keep himself warm. He was trying to keep warm. That's why he came to our house. Next one now. Next, they're asking you, what impression do you get from Pepper's house? Give two impressions using evidence from the text to support. Again, you need to look at the text really, really carefully when you're giving answers. And in this one, 31, you could also say that another way of him coming to a house was just to see the music box he had found. So you could also say to look at the music box what he found. So I can write that also down. So let's write that down also for 31. Then I'll go back to 32. He wanted to see the music box he had found. So basically he wanted to first he came to protect himself from the storm, and second he also wanted to see the music box. So let's move on to the next one. You could write any of these two. So the next one they're asking you is what impressions do you get of Pepper's house? Give two impressions using evidence from the text to support your answer. So you need to read the text really, really carefully to give you the answers for this one. So the first one I would say that it is smelly, it is warm and cozy, or I would say that it is old fashioned. And another one, what evidence can you give? There is no electricity and kerosene. That would be my one. If you read the text, you would come to know there was no electricity. And the next one, you could write anything in this one. So you could write, she wished she had a bigger workplace space. There is a fire, so it's comfortable. There is fire, so there was fire there. There's cozy, and in impressions one, you could write any of that. It's warm, cozy, it's isolated, it's safe, it's warm. It's 3 marks, so you have to write a lot. So you have to write everything what you think is there in the text. So the next one is Pepper has mixed feeling about the music boxes. Complete the table to show her thoughts. So what do you think her thoughts could be about the music box? What Pepper likes about the music box? What do you think she likes about the box? It's beautiful. Basically, it's really beautiful one. So she likes the box is really beautiful. The art on it. So she likes the art on it. It is beautiful decorated. And what she doesn't like about it? Maybe the sound is really annoying. And the songs it plays. So she doesn't like the songs what it plays basically. Or I would say the music is annoying. So that's your answer for this one. So let's move to 34 now. 34, they're asking, look at page 9. But she would not sing. What does Pepper means when she says this? What do you think? Why did she use these words? She would not sing. So what do you think she basically used these words? She used these words. I think you should have, if you read the passage really carefully, it tells you that the music box was not playing properly. It was maybe it's an old one. It was not playing properly. So that when she said these words, so basically the music box's song Why was it doing that? Because basically it was a really old one. Because it was an old one, that's why it was not playing the songs properly. So let's go on to the next one now. So it's 35 now. They're again telling you to look at line to page 9. Where did Meha find the music box? From where did she find the box? She basically found the box in a hole. So basically she found the box in a hole. So I would write that here. Sorry, he. I found the music box, or I would say that in a carter. Always remember to write all the information was given to you. What work has Meha done to the music box before showing it to Pepper? What work should she basically do? He basically do basically to show it to Pepper. He had cleaned it because it was so dirty and he found it in a hole. Obviously, he would have cleaned it. He had cleaned it. Always try writing the full sentence and look at how many marks it is. So this is our last page now. Then we are done. So 38 now. I think so we forgot 37. It's down. Yeah, I just saw that. I'll remove these two. So let's do 37 fast. In 37, they are just asking you, Pepper thinks Maha had done a decent job. She thinks his work has been excellent, careful, sloppy, or reasonable. What do you think she thought? Obviously, it's reasonable. Yeah. So now we are on 38. There are two more left, then you're done with this Sats comprehension. So again, they're asking you a word. Look at the last paragraph, beginning ye, it looks smart. Find a copy one word to suggest that the sound coming from Meher's music box is unpleasant. So obviously, what do you think it would be? It would be angled because the sound was so annoying. And that's your answer for this one. So let's do the last one now. Last one is a 3 mark. So you need how many points? Remember how many points are needed when it's of 3 marks? Obviously, you need 3 points. So what are they asking you now? They're asking you, what impression do you get from the relationship between Pepper and Mike? Maha, what relationship you think the relationship is good, it's bad, or what do you think it is? So if you read the text, you know that they like to tease each other. So I would say the first one is they were best buddies. They were best buddies, but they like to tease each other. So I would say that they were best buddies, buddies, but still they like teasing each other, but still they like to tease each other. And the next one, I would say that they all obviously they used to care for each other a lot. They care they used to care about each other. And the last one, Pepper was the most Pepper seems to be the more mature one. He used to be the he was the most so he was the one who used to take care of each other. So we are done with it now. I'll put this one down for you guys. So the best thing was you should have read the text before, and after reading it, you would have done its other. Sorry, here I'll just correct that for you guys. So this is all about, there were 3 stories inside this one, and you should have done all 3 of them. I just want to correct that. I'll just get the text and I'll correct that for you, so that if you're reading it again, and still also I wrote it wrong. Your text is done now. So there were 3 stories inside this, and we did all 3 of them. So I hope you understood this comprehension, how to do it. Always remember, when you have a comprehension, you have to read it really 2-3, at least 2 times, to answer all the questions of the comprehension. And after you do it, remember, just don't write because and this in all of them. Just write the way we have done it throughout. We have finished this paper and I've explained you each and every part of this paper really well. So the best thing is to do this paper yourself and then come back to this comprehension and see the way I have done it for you guys. I hope you liked it. So we'll be stopping this now live. And it was really nice to have you all. Try doing this again yourself tomorrow. I know it was a big comprehension because it has 3 in it. You might have got tired looking at it, but it's fine. Just try doing it yourself and then coming back. Thanks for watching it, and remember to like the video and subscribe to our channel, because we'll be putting a lot of new videos and a lot of way of how to do comprehension and things like that. Thanks, bye.